Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install the ICI wheel-to-wheel Magnum RT steps on this 2017 Ram 1500 with a 6.5 foot bed. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so we are right underneath our driver's side door, right by our front tire. And in our pinch weld, we're going to have 2 holes. Now depending on the year of your truck, you might not have these holes. If you don't, you can either drill these holes or you can skip this step. But since our truck does have pre-drilled holes, we're going to put our pinch weld bracket up against. It's going to have a slanted surface that's going to fit up against the slanted pinch weld. And we're going to use a long bolt and washer and go through the front, through our bracket. And then we're going to put a washer, a lock washer, and a nut on the end. And we'll just leave that loose for right now. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other hole. Now once we get both of those in, again, we're just going to leave that loose for right now. And we're going to repeat that on the other 2 pinch weld spots on our driver's side. So now that we have all of our pinch weld brackets in, we're going to go back to the very front of the driver's side. And we're going to remove this tape. Under that's going to be a hole. We're going to use that hole and these 2 nutsert spots for our first bracket. So in our hole, we're going to take a single bolt plate. We're also going to take one of our clear plastic retaining washers. We're going to put that through that hole, and then we're just going to tighten down this washer, and that's going to hold that plate in place for us when we put our bracket on. So now when we go to put our bracket on, they're all going to be the same, so you don't have to worry about grabbing a driver's side or a passenger side. Our pinch weld bracket is going to go to the inside. And we're just going to hang that on our bolt plate, and we're going to put a washer, a lock washer, and a nut on there. And then we're also going to take a bolt with a lock washer and a washer and put that into each of our threaded nutserts that's in the rocker panel. And we're just going to leave this hardware loose for right now. So now we're at our middle location on our driver's side. And now you can see we have 2 holes, and then again we have a piece of tape covering up a hole. We're just going to remove that tape. And since we have no threaded nutserts on this side, we're going to use a triple bolt plate. We're going to feed that to the inside. Just like that. Again, we're going to use our retaining clip to hold that into place. We're going to take our bracket, put our pinch weld bracket to the inside, hang that in place, and on our top bolt, we're going to put a washer, lock washer, and a nut. And then on the bottom portion of our triple bolt plate, we're going to put a bolt with a lock washer and a flat washer into those 2 welded nuts on that plate. And again, we're just going to leave this loose for right now. Now this bracket should install the same way as your rear bracket, so you can go ahead and install the rear one at this time as well. Next, we're going to use a small bolt and washer and go through our running board bracket into our pinch weld bracket with a washer, lock washer, and nut. And you want to make sure you go from the outside in. It doesn't really matter, but it makes a cleaner look. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, we're just going to leave this loose for right now, but we're going to repeat that on the other two brackets. Okay guys, so now we are looking at the break between the cab of the truck and the tailgate. So on the tailgate side, there's going to be a cross beam with a hole. Now if you don't have a hole here, you're going to have to drill a 7/16 inch hole, and then you can put a bolt plate in there. And now with that bolt plate in, we're going to use our tiny bracket. There's going to be a hole in the top of it. It's going to go through that. We're going to face the slant towards the outside of the truck, and then we're going to put a nut right on the end of our bolt plate. Now we're going to use a 13mm socket, and we're going to go ahead and tighten that down. Next, we're going to take the flat side of our rubber isolator. We're going to fit that up to our bracket. We're going to have a black pin. It's also got a Allen head on it. We're going to put that through our bracket, through our isolator. And then when you get that through on the other side, you're going to have a bolt that's going to thread into the black pin. So now we're going to take our rear support strap. We're going to fit that up over the bottom part of our isolator, making sure that our bracket is facing towards the out side of the truck. And we're also going to use another pin and go through our new bracket, through the isolator to the other side. And then again, we're going to have a bolt that's going to feed in from the other side. And we can go ahead and tighten that hardware down. That's going to be two 4mm Allen heads. We're just going to tighten those down. Just like that. Next, we're going to tighten down our pinch weld bolts. That's going to be a 10mm on both sides. We can go ahead and tighten that down. And we're going to go ahead and do that on all three brackets. So now we're ready to attach our board to our brackets. So you might want to have a friend on the other side to help you lift it up. But once you got it in place, we're going to use a bolt and a washer and feed it from the inside of our board through our bracket. And then we're going to use a washer, lock washer, and a nut on the back. We're just going to leave that loose for right now. We're going to do the same thing in our top location. And again, we're going to use a washer, lock washer, and a nut. We're going to repeat that on all of our brackets, and then we can go ahead and make our adjustments and then tighten everything down. So now we've got our board adjusted from side to side to make sure we have an equal space on each side of our truck. And we're also going to lift it up to make the board flush with the bracket. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a 13mm wrench and socket to tighten down the board to the bracket. We're going to do this on all of our brackets. So now we're at our first bracket on our driver's side. We're going to tighten down the top bolt with a 16mm. We're going to tighten down our two bottom bolts with a 13mm. You want to be careful with these. You don't want to tighten them down too tight because these are just going into nut certs. We don't want to strip those out. Now we're going to use a 10mm wrench and socket to tighten down our pinch weld bracket to our board bracket. So then you can go ahead and repeat that on all of your other brackets, and then you can repeat that whole process on the passenger side. All right guys, that completes the installation. If you have any questions, give us a call or visit us online. Thanks.